Questions?
So I have been thinking about this question. In some context, it's also called a Koan here. So the question is, who I was before my parents were born, before my parents were even conceived.
Okay.
And okay, so whatever I'll be talking about, it will be a conceptual one. But there were few thoughts there. So first of all, I am not independent of this word. At least I know that as an idea. For example, I am just dust, or I was dust before my parents were even conceived. It's like, right? When you were a child, you would be making those sand castles in beach. Like initially, you can make sand castle, then crush them up, and then make something else out of it.
Yes.
That is the same thing with me.
That's if you are identified with your material body.
Yes.
So another way of phrasing it is, what was your original face, or what was your face before you were born? Leave your parents out of it.
Here's what the thing that comes. What was I aware of before I was even conceived?
Okay, so then you're onto something, because you're saying that you were aware.
Yeah, but what? Like, there should be no senses. I don't have eyes, ears, skin, or any senses or thoughts.
Okay, so let's imagine that you were put in a soundproof room with no light whatsoever, and maybe we could put you in a warm bath, exactly body temperature, where you don't have any weight or pressure on you. Would you still be you?
Yes.
Okay. Let's say we gave you another. Let's say you were born in Alaska.
Okay.
So let's say Guatemala.
Okay.
And you had different parents, and you grew up speaking Spanish in a small village.
Okay.
How would you be different? How would your awareness be different?
So awareness as such won't be different, but its contents will be different.
All right, good. So there's something that's the same, independent of your senses or how you were brought up or your experiences. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. So that's the step. Now let's go back to your question.
My question was like to answer the question of who I was before I was conceived. I don't know. I don't know what I was aware of.
Well, see, when you ask it like, who was I, that's a different question than what was I.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Okay. So what if you leave the I out of it? Maybe that will help.
Okay. I know whenever I use I, that creates separation in all my talks.
Correct.
But I don't know that any other way
Correct.
to talk to you about it without that.
Right, and see, that's the problem. You keep referring to the I. I think I tweeted something. I think it's the third tweet from the last. Did you see that?
Is it the one from Dawi? Zen Master Dawi?
Yes.
People study.
Can you read that? Can you read that real quick?
Okay. People study far and wide, but they do not attain enlightenment. Why they don't attain? Because they see themselves. That's why they don't attain. I had this exact question though. I was going to ask this.
Good. Okay.
So,
the self is the same thing as the I. Right?
But how can I remove I from... But how can I remove my I in any of my analysis? Like, okay.
Okay, so you can't do it by analysis. I mean, you can do it by analytical thinking, and the Tibetan Buddhists do a lot of that. And you can do that, and that's very good preparatory work. But eventually, you just get there either gradually, like consistently walking in the same direction, or suddenly, someday or night, it's just a fortuitous circumstance, and all of a sudden it just drops away.
Okay.
Both of those will do it.
So, okay, again, ironically, I will be using I again. So another thing that I've been doing, but I'm meditating on the present.
Good.
And to do that, again, I will be using I, unfortunately.
Okay, so just as a reminder, like when you're going to meditate on the present, the first thing you do is get rid of your name, get rid of your past, get rid of your family, get rid of your friends, get rid of your job, anything from the past. That's because that's all memory. That's not the present.
Oh, no.
And then you get rid of all your ambition, get rid of all your plans, get rid of all your hopes and fears. Those are all future, right?
Yes.
You get rid of those. And now what's left?
The present senses. And
there is just sensations and perceptions.
Yes.
In the present. But where's the I in that? There's no I in that.
Okay, there is no word I in that. Just awareness.
There's no I there. There's no I. There's awareness of sensations and perceptions. And perhaps a thought comes up here and there or whatever.
But even
you don't have to put an I in there. You don't have to put the I in there.
Yes, I can do that. Okay, again, I'm using that. That the awareness is aware of all these things. That's the thing.
Okay, so awareness is aware of all these things.
Yes.
Good. So there's no I in there, is there?
No.
Okay. All right, so good.
That has its own problem.
That's a big step in the right direction.
That's the big problem with asking about death. Because any questions about death, I am just not death. The awareness will be aware of all the interactions, all the back and forth.
It's the same problem. If, let's say, you had never tasted an apple, and I was going to try to describe to you what an apple tastes like, we'd have the same problem.
Yes. Unless
so there are some things that are not reducible to words, and those things we call experience. Very little, in fact, can be reduced to words. I mean, we act as if we can reduce everything to words, but we really can't. I mean, if you tried to describe what going through the pandemic was like, you could get some words and people would nod their head or whatever, but in terms of what it really felt like at that time, I don't think you could describe it in words. Now, maybe a great poet could evoke it, right? Or an individual person.
Yes.
But every person's experience reading that poem would be different.
Yes.
Okay, so we can't really communicate in words much of anything. That's the reality. Now, we pretend that it's not true, but it is true.
But there is one subtle thing, though. So when I am aware of my senses, if the awareness is aware of senses, if the awareness tries locating the objects in senses, actually it's not looking at senses, it's looking at thoughts.
Because so you're imagining that. Let's say a car goes by in the night.
Yes.
And a horn honks. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, you're sitting in meditation and you're in the present.
Yes.
So you heard a sound. Now, you're probably going to want to locate it somewhere. But where are you going to locate it? Because the sound wasn't on the street. Where was the sound actually?
In my awareness, in a location I don't know.
In a dark space, let's say your eyes are closed, right?
Yes.
So somewhere in that dark space, a sound occurred.
Yes.
Now you're going to kind of want to locate it. Let's say you're on the third story. You're going to want to locate it as, outside and to the left or to the right and down a few stories, right? That's an automatic thing that you do, but that's just a habit.
Yes.
But see, in that black space, how big is that black space?
Infinite, or I don't know whether I can.
Okay, you can make it as big or as small as you want.
Yes.
And you can make the distances as big or small as you want.
Yes.
So then how could you so you think you're located, but you're really not, because the sound doesn't occur, the sensation of sound doesn't occur on the street or on the window or on your eardrum. It occurs, let's just make it simple. We could say it occurs somewhere in your brain, we don't know where. Or we say the auditory cortex, but we don't know where. Or we don't know how. Because inside your brain is completely silent and dark.
Yes.
So you've constructed a fantasy about where it is. It's like my voice right now. You fantasize you know where it is, but you don't.
And that's the thing. How can I not do that? What I'm right now doing is be aware of the sound as and when it happens.
Well, yes, of course, that's the only time the experience occurs.
I know it doesn't make sense because I am always aware of it right now. It's just that I can't analyze it.
What's to analyze? You can't tell right now if I'm calling you from New York, or you're calling me in New York, or in California, or in Alaska, or, Argentina.
Yeah.
You imagine you can tell, but you can't. The experience is the experience. And so what the brain automatically does is it tries to elaborate. But see, so it takes practice to where you could just be there without a past, without a future, right? Without a name, without a family, none of that stuff. And there's just the pure experience. And that takes practice, right?
Does it take practice? Because I am.
Yes, it's a skill. It's a skill like any other skill.
But again, all this thinking again is done right now itself.
But see, once you get rid of the thinking and you focus on the sensations only on the sensations. See, because experience doesn't occur. An experience does not occur in the future or the past. It can only occur in the present.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're thinking about it or you're remembering it. So the beauty of just closing your eyes and, whatever comes up, maybe it's a sound, maybe it's a breeze, maybe it's something else, but that is always in the present. Experience only occurs in the present.
Yes.
And that's what you are.
I think that is the truth. Because that is only there.
So it's very weird when you realize that what you are is experience.
Yes.
Because we're so used to believing in whatever elaborate fantasies our Guatemalan parents gave us, or our Indian parents gave us, or we got from the news or from the book or whatever. Growing up, going to this school or that school, we fantasize that that's who we are and what we are, but that's not true at all. That's very superficial.
Yes. So essentially, I'll directly look at sense feeds and not but I'll.
Now, when you get good at it, then you'll understand what Krishnamurti means when he says, "Have you ever seen a tree? Have you ever heard a bell?" Right? So training your mind to not get distracted by all of its crap, and just focus on what the experience actually is very close to where you need to get.
Yeah, I'll keep doing this. That's the only thing that I can do. Or not I.
Very good, very good, very good. But meanwhile, the thing that's good about the sutra, especially, is that then you're going to realize that you've been constraining your mind, you've been restricting your mind, both in space and in time.
Yes.
And so what the sutra does is it gradually opens your mind, expands the space, and helps you understand the arbitrariness of time too. Or maybe you get past time, that's something else.
Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to know more about the Twitter post again. Like, people study far and wide, but they do not attain enlightenment. Why they don't attain? Because they see themselves. That's why
They see themselves, exactly. They see themselves.
But
they see themselves struggling. They see themselves struggling. They see themselves frustrated. They see themselves hopeful or fearful. They see their name, their family, their aspirations, their memories. That's all the self, right?
Yes, actually, one thing that I do.
Enlightenment is freedom from the self.
At least
it's the first and last freedom. That's the first and last freedom. Is freedom from the self. That horrible oppressive self that's never satisfied, is never happy, always wants more, and it's always up and down, and you never know where it's going to be at any given time. That self that's so oppressive.
It really is. Like, the moment a major problem gets solved, it spins up new major problems.
Exactly. It exists. The mind exists to create problems. Or to imagine that problems are solved. But you're right. Once one problem gets solved, another one will arise.
Yeah, like just last week itself, I was happy. Oh, I earn a lot. And then another thought popped up. Oh, some of my friends are at the same level. They earn more than me. And I'm like, why? Why am I doing this? Like, a problem got solved and new problem came up for comparison, and then something else comes up. Oh, next time.
Correct. So to free yourself from that, the Taoists are very good with this too, in addition to the Buddhists.
But there is one insight though that consistently pops in my awareness. Like, whenever there is thoughts about me being prideful, which I've noticed a lot, and various other things, suddenly this insight pops up that says, I am aware of those thoughts. Like, I'm not those things.
Correct. Good.
And then I move back.
Distance yourself from the thoughts. They aren't you, really.
And then
you'll learn later where they come from, and where they come from is not where you think.
Regarding where they come from, for me, at least, again, this is a theoretical knowledge and a conceptual one fully. So what I see it as, like, when there are two waves coming in opposing direction, they collide, and the collision forms a line. If you see it, if you have an aerial view of the waves, I feel that's where the life is.
That's very interesting. So they're like electromagnetic waves that can either be additive or they could be destructive, right? They could be subtractive. Yeah, depending on the frequency and the amplitude. That's an interesting thought, but it's just a thought.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, like, the presence is like pretty thin, like thinnest thing you can.
It's not even there. It's not even there.
So much so that
because time. Now this is very advanced stuff, but eventually you'll be free of time too, and you'll see that the present is not there either.
I mean, for presence, you need have past and future.
The sutra, by the way, the sutra talks about that.
I'm just going to say, like, for things to be present, you need to have past and future. But past and future can only exist in thought. Like, and that thought itself is happening right now. That, like, there's nothing outside right now. Like, I remember we had few discussions about what it means to be presence, or the Zeno's paradox about an arrow going in a direction.
Exactly.
That, all those thinking made sense when you think things in terms of timelines. But there is no timeline. Everything happens right now. Like, it's really difficult to define what a presence is in a timeline. But
You can't do it. You can't do it.
Yeah, but the thing is,
you can't do it scientifically either.
Yeah, like scientifically, you can never point present. But the thing is, I never was away from present. Like it's false to say anything that I was in time after this present or something like that. I don't know. Again, I don't know. This insight may blossom or what. I don't know how things.
No. It's a partial insight, and until you understand what the outside world, what we call the outside world is, then this won't make any sense. And here again is where the sutra comes in handy. See, well, I don't want to go too far in advance. Let's stick to your questions.
But feel free to complete your thought though, because that may help me.
Well, in the sutra they talk about the non-existence of the past because it's just a memory, and the non-existence of the future because it's just a fantasy of some sort or another. Thinking what's going to happen, and then finally, you're ready to understand that the present is not there either.
Yeah.
It's a very mysterious universe or cosmos we live in. Extremely beautiful, extremely mysterious.
I guess I would say it's mysterious, not because of mysterious sake. It's because thoughts can never comprehend it. That's why it's always mysterious.
Well, let's see about that. That's true. Thought cannot be reduced to thought. Just like awareness or consciousness cannot be reduced to computation. Right? It's just like experience, even a simple experience. Like if I was to try and explain to someone who didn't have a temperature sense, if I tried to explain to them what hot water felt like, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Or explain to a blind person what the color orange is next to purple. You can't do it. And that is the extraordinary situation that we find ourselves in as humans.
Got it. Oh, actually, this reminds me about one thing.
So ultimately, this is not it's not within the realm of science because it's not anything that can be measured or quantified or experimentally verified unless you do it in the first person.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
That was one thing though, regarding the things that we were discussing earlier about the presence, or simply speaking, it could simply be about awakening itself. One problem that I see right now is there are some expectations that are attached to awakenings that I have right now. And whenever...
We'll get rid of those. Get rid of those for sure.
Yeah. Because I feel like that may create problem, because then there will be expectations about how I will awaken and various other things, and then some really good feelings comes up, then I will mistake it for an awakening.
The biggest mistake that is made by folks is they think it's something that they add or something that they understand because they've got more understanding. And what it is the dropping of the conceptual. And it's something you uncover, not something you add. See, it's always there. That's the weird part. It's always there.
Yeah, got it. Yes. I mean, it's always there. It's there right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. It's experience. Yeah. Experience free from the I.
Like, it's all weird because, again, I'm going to now materialistic part. Like, my body is made out of atoms, or like in those days 4 or 5 elements, and by default they are not aware of anything, yet I am aware of these things. That's really weird.
So those are fantasies. Atoms are fantasies. Yes. What are atoms made of?
We can always say quarks and all, but again, those are just
theoretical things. Quarks, but those are also fantasies.
Yes. Yeah.
So we fantasize the whole world. Whether it's scientific or religious or whatever you want to call it, we fantasize a world, we dream a world.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in sciences. It's mostly through sensors and all, like inferring things from sensors, but that may not be the whole picture.
It's not the whole picture. I mean, clearly it's not.
Yeah, not me.
I
Yes.
mean, when you start read David Hume on causation, the great Scottish philosopher,
Got it.
and then think about some of the, what do they call them? These are I shouldn't be talking about it because I'm not an expert, but these erasure experiments in quantum mechanics.
Yes.
People are starting to take that more seriously, or if not that, just entanglement or light codes. Are you familiar with light codes?
No.
Okay, that's be a good thing. Now, this just enriches your understanding of the world in a way. But when you have a chance, or why don't you just ask the AI, what is is it a light code? Is that what they call it? Let's say, what is a light code in cosmology? I don't know if it's light code, it may be something else.
A light cone is a fundamental concept in cosmology and relativity that represents all the possible paths that light or any information can travel through space-time from a given event.
Correct. Now, what's outside the light code for a given event?
What's outside? Let me just think a bit more about it.
It'd be good if you had some illustrations. The illustrations are helpful. See, because we're limited by the speed of light.
Yes.
And by relativity, and there's only a certain amount of the cosmos that any particular beam of light or anything can travel, right?
Yeah, and I also remember from light's perspective, no time has passed because of relativity.
That's true. That's another point. Okay, but now, so when we get off, look up, spend some time with light codes, and look and see how in this we've fantasized a world in physics and cosmology where there's this cone where things are allowed to exist, and outside that cone, nothing in our world can exist. It has to be some other world, something like that, or some event.
Okay.
Now, the weird thing, though, is when you start looking at entanglement, and you imagine that only half of the entangled pair is within the light cone. What happens then?
Sorry, I didn't catch your last few minutes.
Okay, so can you find a picture of a light cone somewhere on a computer or something?
Okay, yeah, I can find one.
Okay, so do you think you kind of understand what it is there?
So it's a bi-directional cone, or two cones,
right,
joined at the center point.
Because light can travel in two directions.
Yes.
But outside of that light cone, there is no record. There can be no record of certain events, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, nothing.
Okay.
None of the senses can sense things outside that.
We can't measure it. We can't see it. There's no way to apprehend it at all, right? If it's outside our light cone.
Yes.
Now, imagine an entangled pair of particles.
Okay.
You know about entanglement, right?
Yes.
What if one part of the entangled pair is outside of the light cone?
And one inside. Then you can always.
And the other one inside. And also, what would the boundary of the light cone be made of, if anything? Okay, that's just a direction that's fruitful for you to think about if you're going to be thinking about the present and time. Okay?
Got it. Yes.
All right. Yeah, because we are in the 21st century. And let's see, there was one other thing I wanted to bring up to you what was it? It'll come to me. There was some other area of cosmology or physics that I thought would be good for you at this point. But it'll come to mind later. That's all right. So let's keep going.
Got it. So.
I know what it was. It's. Are you familiar with the Ruliad?
Ruliad.
Yeah. So, just as the AI, what is Wolfram's Ruliad? WOLF. Wolf RAM apostrophe S. Wolfram's Ruliad. RULIAD.
Wolfram's Ruliad is a theoretical concept introduced by Stephen Wolfram as part of his ambitious attempt to find a theory of physics through computational approaches. What is the Ruliad? The Ruliad is conceived as the entangled limit of all possible computational processes, essentially a mathematical object that contains every possible computation that could ever be performed. Wolfram described it as the unique ultimate object that encompasses all possible rules and their consequences.
So it hit. Go ahead.
I couldn't understand anything.
You didn't understand it?
Yeah, I need to dig deeper to understand this.
Okay, well, you spend some time with it.
Yes.
Basically, there's some. Okay, so in our world, we have computational objects. I mean, we can reduce objects to computations, ostensibly, right?
What do you mean by that? Can you repeat again? Sorry.
Okay, in our worlds, we can reduce things to computations. The things that we see are computationally accessible. That's why we can have virtual realities in computers, right? So we can reduce a 3D space to a computational space. We could create buildings and trees and roads and things like that out of computations, at least visually so far, and probably auditorily. We can take our world and it's intelligible computationally.
Yes, I can kind of get that, but again, it won't trap everything.
Right, no. All I'm doing is giving you just a couple of places for you to spend some time. It's very good for you to know about these things, first of all.
Got it.
Both of them are essential for you to know as an intelligent man in the 21st century. And then, but then we have to, the cosmos, though, is defined as the space, or the Ruliad, which is another word for mathematical cosmos, includes not only the computations that we can do here, but computations that can be done someplace else, but not here. It's a whole world of possible computations.
I mean, it makes sense because whoever is doing this computation, like could be computers, at the end of the day, those are particles. So two particles can always be quantum entangled and thus.
Well, I don't know if I'd call them particles. I'd call them bits.
Okay.
Or bytes or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Now, which brings up a third thing that's really, really, I think that you should spend some time on also. So there's three things, and then we'll get back to your questions. One is light codes.
Yes.
Two is Wolfram's Ruliad.
Yes.
And third is information, the relationship between information and energy.
Okay.
Because if you try and pack too much information in a black hole, it'll suck the whole universe in there, for example. I shouldn't have said that last thing, but the point is this, is that there's a relationship between information and energy. You need to know what information is. And that's not an easy question, but you're a computer guy, so you need to know what information is, right?
Yes.
All right, so this takes us back to Shannon, right? Yeah. The great, I don't know, what was he, a computer scientist?
Yeah, Claude Shannon. He was the one who talked about the limitations of communication, the log n thing, the number of bits, minimum number of bits required for that.
Correct. So those are the three areas, in addition to the Sutra and to the Zen and the Taoist, the short little Taoist book that I recommend for you.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, now let's go to your questions.
Yeah, these were my...
Now, you don't have to become an expert on any of this, right? I'm saying, just understand the concepts, the constructs.
Got it. Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So watch a few good YouTubes or something like that.
Got it.
And then thinking about it on your own.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So these were my major questions about practice. There were some minor things that I saw, and a few.
Well, how do you know if it's minor or not?
Oh yeah, that's also there. So during my meditation, right, I observed there was a lot of pride in getting things correct or thinking that it's correct. And
well, that's just wanting to get things right.
Yes, but at the same time, there are also pitfalls there. Like, I have strong belief that I am where I am because of what I have today. And if I lose those things, then all life will be hell. But
well, that's not pride, that's fear.
Actually, yeah, that's fear. I don't know why I wrote this.
Yeah, so okay, be sure you distinguish the difference between pride and fear. You don't need either one of them.
Yes.
But trying to get things correct and trying to understand them, that's not pride. That's your God-given nature as a smart human being.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Okay, good.
The other thing that I was pondering about was my nature of looking at almost always the worst case of things. What I arrived at was like when you scale something, right, especially to few millions of people, like a product, or it could be a leadership position where you're leading like thousands of people and all, things will fail. That is the problem of scalability.
Yeah, don't scale yourself to that. I mean, there's wisdom. Okay, I don't think any wise person would voluntarily want to take responsibility for thousands of people unless the situation really forced him into it. But I mean, this is where the Tao is very useful.
Yeah.
The wise stay close to the ground, right?
Yes.
They don't look for fame. They don't look for recognition because they know that those are both dead-end streets, right? So aspire to be wise, and then you may or may not be forced or called, or circumstances dictate that you take a leadership position or you scale something way up or whatever. But the wise do not go after that.
I totally agree, because that's where the most problems that I see, at least in social media, where like opposition.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, like right? Especially if you want to be always right, then you will fail badly if you are working at things on scale, because you will be proven wrong every time.
It's the Tao Te Ching. The Tao Te Ching, this ancient book of wisdom, says there's no misfortune like fame.
Yeah.
Another fame is just misfortune. And there's no famous thinking person that would disagree with that.
Yeah.
So you don't want fame. I mean, if it comes to you and you can't get away from it, then okay, that's your life, your destiny, or whatever. But don't go looking for that.
But at the same time, what I see is only people who are working at these high levels of scale are able to earn pretty good money. Like
they're not earning pretty good money. They're earning obscene amount of money.
Yes.
Okay. Well, have you read about the French Revolution or the Communist Revolution in China?
I know about
or the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia?
Yes.
What happens to the rich people?
They are killed, or at max, or at best, they have to leave away all their material.
There's no great fortune in great amounts of wealth.
Yes.
You just need enough to take care of yourself and the people you care about, and that's plenty.
But this is where the greed comes in. Or more precisely,
True. But this is where our culture comes in too. All right, we're taught to worship that. By Instagram, you see these girls next to these Ferraris and these guys on the yacht, or all this, fake jets, that people are posing on. That's a cultural disease. And so don't fall ill to that cultural disease. There's nothing but suffering in that. No matter how beautiful you are, you're going to get old, right? And decrepit. Nothing, you can't own, there's nothing, what is it the Sufis say? You can call that yours, that which will survive a shipwreck.
Yeah.
So the only thing that's yours is the same as what will survive a shipwreck. So keep that in mind, and, not, the middle way, right?
Yes, yeah. Oh.
And don't be afraid to go to low places. Be like water, right?
Yeah.
And so you're already way ahead because you're choosing the life of wisdom as opposed to just the life of thoughtless greed or ambition for fame or whatever else. Okay, wisdom will take care of you. You have to take care of a lot of money.
So I have one thing though.
And just ask a very, very rich person whether or not they have to take care of the money. And they'll tell you they do. They spend a good part of their life taking care of the money, all the money that they have. They have to. Whereas wisdom will take care of you.
But here's the one thing that I like.
The Sufis are really good about this, by the way. Go ahead.
Yeah, I really don't care about those things, but one thing I do care about: medical costs.
Well, you have to have enough to take care of medical costs.
And that will be huge with the insurance and all. So wouldn't you say that incentivizes everyone to do that and thus leads to all this situation?
Well, a lot of the medical costs are unnecessary costs, right? And no, you just, there's things you think medical costs. What about funeral costs, right? What about, costs for things that can't be treated medically? There's an endless, you can go down that road forever in fear, but meanwhile, just be judicious, have a reasonable amount set aside for insurance, or if there's no insurance, just to pay the doctor bills or whatever. And, just, there's so many things to worry about in this modern world.
Yeah.
You can worry about AI. You can worry about bioweapons. You can worry about nuclear war. You can worry about political instability. You can worry about, there's tons of things. Learn when you're going down one of those roads. Learn when it's starting to make you feel bad. And then change the subject for a while.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
So you learn to monitor yourself. And you do something differently if you find that, thinking about AI is making you anxious.
Yes.
Well, you don't have to think about AI all the time. You can change the subject.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. So so the goal is to live a wise life.
Yes.
And actually, that's just a much better life. And most people never get a chance.
I guess that translates to not live a dogmatic life where you have a set of rules. More like be flexible and change things with context.
Absolutely. There's no dogma in any of this.
Yeah.
If you see dogma, just turn around and run the other way.
Yeah, no, that dogmatic one.
It's like a person who has no sense of humor. If the person doesn't have a sense of humor, you can just pretty much just watch out. You don't want to get mixed up with that person.
Just curious, why? Because they take themselves too seriously?
They're going to take you too seriously. They take everything. It's just it's a pathology.
Oh.
And because I've been doing this a long time, a psychiatrist, whatever, not only have I seen it in patients and clients and in people who get in couples, and I've seen it in preachers that lead people down destructive roads. I've seen it in, would-be gurus who are really just sadistic. And it's just like a lack of a sense of humor is a sign of a pathology. That's all. Just keep that in mind.
Got it.
I mean, if you're dating someone and they don't have a sense of humor, you probably want to stop dating that person.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I'll be compatible with them. They are too serious.
Right. Okay. So just keep that in mind. That's all. And so, and again, so these books, especially the Sufi books and the Taoist books, they're there to teach wisdom. Wisdom can be taught to a large extent, and then you have to, go on your own and do your own contemplations and make your own decisions. But there's certain guidelines that have been passed down the years, down the millennia, right? And it's not the same as religion, and it's not the same thing as enlightenment necessarily. But you want to live wisely in any case. And so one of the problems that people get in with all this enlightenment stuff is they get so infatuated with all the meditations and the malas and the chanting of the gurus and I'm better than other people and all this crazy stuff, and they forget. So they wake up, but they haven't grown up.
Yeah.
And you got to do both. You got to grow up and wake up.
Isn't that just shadow work to grow up, to look at?
That's part of it, yeah. That's part of it. But Jung, is not really, I wouldn't use Jung or Freud as teachers of wisdom. I mean, Jung maybe more so than Freud, but wisdom is its own kind of thing. And that there's no one, the books that you have, the Sufi books, are a collection of the teaching tales of wisdom, for the last 1,000 years, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they've been selected for an English-speaking audience and translated.
Yes.
Okay, so and it's not the same thing as religion or spirituality. It complements both if you're interested in all that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep. Yes. Got it.
All right. Anything else before we stop?
No. I did saw your movie though, Redbeard. It was pretty good. I really liked that.
Which movie was it?
Redbeard.
Oh, Redbeard. Was that something?
Sorry. Yeah.
I liked it because it showed very specific types of character pathology.
Yeah.
It showed schizophrenia very well. It showed depression well. It showed hysteria well.
Yes.
And, the treatment for all those things is caring. The secret in caring for the patient is caring for the patient.
Yeah.
So, Kurosawa, man, sometimes that guy just knocks me off my feet. Well, good. I'm glad you saw it.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Take good care.
Yes.
Ciao.